Hey mamas, welcome back to another video. It's your girl Shaded by Jay. If you are new here, welcome. In today's video, we're gonna get into some tea, a key, and a little motivation. Today I got my good sis, Tony Jai, and I also got my good sis, Dare to Have Hair, aka Dishwan, because we know her as Dare to Have Hair. Anyways, y'all, before we get into this video, I know there's been a lot of things going on on the internet about someone that I used to be friends with. He did a podcast speaking on our friendship, why we're no longer friends, speaking on my body, speaking on my family, speaking on my business. And I just want to clear this up. This is the first time I ever talked about this in detail. And I know some of my supporters seen that friendship and want to know what happened. And now I'm going to speak my piece, speak my truth, and just move on from this situation. So to really get you guys to understand the dynamic of the friendship and why I decided to walk away, I need to take you guys back. Because again, this is the last time I'm going to be talking about this situation. So me and Cliff were friends since 6th grade. Fast forward, we get into high school. I remember the first red flag for me was he got into it with this girl. And she was like, that's why all you do is sit and talk about your best friend. And at that time, he's telling me, like, that's not true, Jade. You know, I was just venting to her about, like, when me and you would get into it. Me being naive at the time, I'm like, okay, he's just venting. Then I remember during the summer, we graduated. This girl was supposed to come get her hair done by him, and the girl couldn't get in contact with him. So she called me like, hey, Jade, I got an appointment with Cliff. Can you please tell him, like, I'm at the shop, he's not here. I call him, I'm like, excuse my dog. So I call him, I'm like, hey, such and such is trying to get their hair done, they can't get in contact with you. He just starts snapping on me, like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, you know, he's yelling at me, like, you don't get to tell me who I need to do hair if I don't want to do somebody's hair. And I'm trying to tell him, like, it's the principle. It's not about who the person is. If you didn't want to do somebody's hair, then you should have never agreed to do it. Why wait till the day of? That's all I was getting at. So I'm like, you know what? We end up getting into it. I just decided to give that situation some space. So we wasn't talking for a few months. Fast forward, I get into college. A lot of the girls that he was into it with went to that college. So, of course, because me and him was friends, they didn't like me either. So, I was assuming that's what the situation was. Like, he still didn't fool with these girls. They still didn't fool with me either. Because I'm that much of a loyal friend. I really didn't even have beef with these girls. I was just being loyal to him. His boyfriend at the time called me like, Jade, Cliff has been calling, like, different people. Like, what Jade doing? Where Jade at? Who she been hanging out with? And then he came up with a plan that he was going to come up there and do these girls' hair. Mind you, I'm into it with these girls because of him. Like, I didn't have no personal beef with these people. Now, all of a sudden, it's like he purposely came out there to be friends with them to piss me off. And at first, I didn't want to believe it because I'm like, this is somebody I grew up with. Even though we're not talking right now, he wouldn't do nothing like that. But then again, y'all got to remember, one of his friends just said that he was talking about me. So I kept that in the back of my head. Cool, noted. Few days later, he actually come to the college campus and do these girls' hair. Knowing that I've been into it with these girls, they was doing weird things, trying to intimidate me. Like, I was really hurt from that situation. Like, I couldn't believe it. And the fact that it really happened after the boyfriend at the time told me, I just really couldn't believe it, y'all. We still wasn't even talking after that. I moved to Atlanta, and he reached out to me. And I was just in a different space moving to Atlanta. I was just really trying to figure life out, you know. He reached out and said that, you know, he wanted to talk just to kind of like get to the bottom of everything that he missed me. And I felt like, you know what, I would want someone to have grace for me as well. I say, you know what, this is somebody I've been friends with for years. Let me just give this another chance. Keep in mind, y'all, around that time that we was not friends, there was a rumor going around that he messed with my man. That's why we were no longer friends, which is a lie. And because I seen the behaviors of the things that he would try to do to break me down, I truly believe that that rumor came from him because of the things that he was doing prior, again, to break me down. So when me and him went to dinner, I addressed it. I said, where did that rumor come from? He tried to gaslight me into thinking that somebody made that up, like he don't know where that came from. I said, you know what, moving forward with you, that's dead. So after we talked at dinner, we did a YouTube video to like let people know, like, you know, what really happened, why we weren't friends at that time. And he asked me, he's like, do you want me to say what the rumor is? And at that time, I didn't even want to repeat that rumor because it was so far from the truth. I didn't even want to repeat it. So I'm like, no. He's like, well, whatever that rumor was a lie. He admitted that it was a lie. So we decided to move forward with our friendship, put that behind us. From the rip, it was like love bombing. I'm sure you guys know what love bombing is. What is love bombing?
Love bombing is when somebody come into your life and they really analyze what you are going through, who you are. So they take that space and they shower you with that type of affection, whether it's gifts, whether it's time, whether it's support, but they do it with a, ulterior motive. And once they have you where they want, they pull that rug from you. But you're so just confused because of the act. It's like a emotional high that, it really knocks you off, your ground because you're confused. How could this person love me and give me these things, treat me this way, talk to me like this one way, and then like a switch, just turn around and then do something differently? And then once you recognize what that behavior is, sometimes they'll keep looping you back in with the same situation, the same type of love.
With that being said, at that time, y'all gotta remember, I just moved to Atlanta, trying to figure things out. I had just ended my makeup studio. So I came here like really winging it. So the fact that an old friend of mine that I grew up with, we came up together, the fact that he reached out and we made amends, like I was excited about this new experience being in Atlanta. I was ready to learn new hustles. I was ready to get my name out there. That was the whole reason I moved out here, to be honest. So the fact that he's like, Jade, let's go here, let's go to New York, let's go to BeautyCon, I'm gonna do your hair, I'm gonna do this, I want you to do these looks. Like, I'm thinking like, this my friend, like he really care about me. He's trying to get me back on the scene. That's how I genuinely looked at it. Sorry, y'all, my lash. And I wasn't expecting him to do that for me. I can't control that someone is offering to have me a part of these opportunities. Any real hustler, they see an opportunity, they're going to take it, especially if it's coming from someone that you feel that genuinely loves you, cares about you as a friend. I didn't think nothing of it. Now, we go into New York, we go to BeautyCon, and then that's when I met Tony.
Amen.
That's when I met Tony, okay? But we're going to get into Tony. That's a whole different situation, but we're going to get into that in a second. So after BeautyCon and stuff like that, it was an altercation where I was at his house, and I've overheard him on the phone with his friend's mom. And what was alarming to me was, me and Tony was there.
Oh, yeah, I was there for that.
So I overheard him on the phone with one of his friend's mom actually gossiping about the friend to the mom, which was hella weird to me. I'm like, this is weird. Like, the fact that somebody has enough like confidence to really talk about their friend to their mom was crazy to me, right? That wasn't my business. I let it be. The mom got on the phone. The friend's mom was like, did you and Jade do that video, or did y'all start being friends as like a publicity stunt? Publicity stunt is crazy. Like, I just moved to Atlanta. It's little old me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Publicity is crazy. I didn't even get on that level yet to do anything for publicity. So the mom like, yeah, people telling me that y'all did that video for publicity, and I heard a rumor that you and her really wasn't friends because you was messing with her man. Soon as I heard that, I ran upstairs. I'm like, look, I was just trying to see what's going on. He like, people is crazy. He told the mom, people is crazy after the mom said that. So I said to him, you need to tell her that's not true. And he like, I'm not going to keep denying it to people, repeating myself. Like, who are you to where I have to repeat myself? People know that that's not true. I said, but you're my friend. If you're my friend, you're going to deny till you're blue. Because if anybody ever said a rumor about you that affected our friendship, that affected the people around you, somebody that you're in a relationship with, I'm going to deny until I'm dead. Because you're my friend. I would never want to have no rumor. First of all, that's a rumor that could really... that really shows your character as a friend for you to even want that to carry on. Yes. So the fact that you didn't want to deny that was like absurd to me, because you already denied it to me, but it's like you wanted people to think that.
And just to piggyback, I was on the outside looking in, y'all. Like, I was there watching everything.
Like, what was you thinking as like that's going on?
Is she really your best friend? Cause child.
And that's embarrassing. Like, I had just, and first of all, why were you even there? Because to be honest, I didn't know if he was a friend or what. What was you there for?
Mama, I was brought around. I was hired specifically to help Cliff write his music, as he said in previous interviews himself. But
Wow.
I was there to just help him write his music.
So basically, you was an employee.
Yeah.
So how crazy is that you would really do something like that in front of other people and somebody that's not even my friend? So again, now you got me looking crazy in front of other people, showing that you really not my friend for real.
Yeah, because I didn't know you from a can of paint at that time.
Yeah, well, and we're gonna finish getting into some of this shit. It's crazy. So I'm like, you know what? He like, again, the manipulation, telling me, well, Jade, I don't have to keep denying. I can't control what people think. Well, maybe he's right. He's my friend. He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't have people thinking that about me, or he wouldn't let a rumor carry on like that. Like, I just couldn't believe it. You know, then he telling me that people make up rumors about celebrities all the time. I'm like, you're right. I do see that. Yeah. So, again, noted. So, even after that high level of manipulation, I'm still moving forward. We're moving forward now. We go to the BET Awards in LA. This is the first time we go to the BET Awards together. Now, at the time, I came with them there. My boyfriend purchased my flight for me to go out there, right? Now, when I got there, I hung out with him for a little bit, and Tony was there once again. Mm-hmm. I'm there. I'm sorry, the dog farted.
Oh, I was just about to say. I was so irritated.
Tony was there. So, my boyfriend purchased my ticket. He did not purchase my ticket in LA. And keep in mind, you guys, I know in the podcast he did, he was making it seem like he was taking care of me. Y'all, I had my own place, my own car, a man that was doing shit for me. I had my business. All of this is going on, okay? I want y'all to keep that in mind. Ain't nobody taking care of me but my man. And I'm like, listen, I'm about to go link up with my boyfriend. We better go catch some vibes. I'm not about to sit in this hotel all day. I want to have a good time. And that's what I did. Well, when I left, people calling me like, oh, he's calling us saying how, you know, you went to go leave with your boyfriend and he paid for you to be out here. I'm like, he did not pay for me to be out there. That's one. And of course, if my boyfriend in the same city as me, I'm going to link up with him, just like I'm sure y'all would. Like, that doesn't even make sense. And I feel like he only added in there that he paid for my ticket so that he could be the victim in that situation, so that people can sympathize with him. Because if he would have just said, well, Jade left to go with her boyfriend, that would look crazy. But of course, to victimize himself, he said, I paid for her to be out there, which was another lie. He also spoke on me getting my body done, which I feel like I've never even expressed that to people, because I'm all for getting procedures done if it's going to help boost your confidence, but I'm also not an advocate for surgery, because I know that it comes with risk. I know that it can cause body dysmorphia. I know that so many young girls think that they have to get their body done to get ahead, and that was once me. I never came to him about any insecurities of me wanting getting my body done. That's all a lie. I never came to him about that. I know this might seem like all over the place, y'all, but I'm just trying to make sure I'm touching all bases from what he said in the podcast so that you guys have a clear understanding. But he said in the podcast that he wanted me to get my body done because he wanted me to mess with different rappers, but I had a boyfriend. I never even knew that. That wasn't a conversation that we ever had. How are you going to plan for me to date different people? That doesn't even make any sense. Again, the manipulation. Fast forward, we pitched the show called Wig Out. Now, the show Wig Out was, of course, pitched to be around him. Of course, it's his show. But it was also pitched to us as if it would highlight all of our business endeavors and how we all have our businesses and how we all come together as friends. That's how the show was pitched to us. I'm here to support my friend, but I'm also here to help elevate my business, just like, again, any business person, any entrepreneur would do different things. And again, this is coming from my friend, so why would I think that they would make me look any type of way on the show, right? So mind you guys, there's plenty of people flying from Philly, different states that are his friends that flew out to be on this show, because we're all thinking that this is an opportunity. Of course, we're here to support you, but we're all here, you know, thinking that this is also going to help all of us, because
that's how it was pitched.
That's how it was pitched. And I had my own stuff going on. Tony was hired as a writer.
And also to be on the show as my own,
as your own person. Yeah. Exactly. So that's not how we reviewed. So when I get there to the salon, y'all, he was never opening up a salon. That's first and foremost. It was never a salon being open. Like, I walk in, I'm just saying hi to everybody, greeting everybody. They're like, Jade, walk back out, and when you come in, say you want to put your products here. So I'm like, okay, this is BT. This is a big company. Like, you know, they know what they're doing. I'm just going to listen. I never did reality TV before. I walk in. I say, hey, mamas. I think I want to put, he like, did you speak? Hi, hello. And I'm like, I just said hi. I just said, hey, mamas. It's like, at that point, you were looking for a reason to start with me or looking for a reason to be angry. And mind y'all, I walked in and already greeted everyone. So it's kind of weird that I got to walk back out and come back in, okay? I get there. I say I'm going to place my products in certain areas. I know the manager, yo. I never had no issue with the manager. That's not even in my character to beef with somebody's manager. That's kind of weird. So they tell the manager to come over to me like, Jay got to pay this amount, Jay got to pay that amount, while he's over here telling me that's my best friend, she don't have to pay anything. Mind y'all got to understand how crazy this is and delusional it is, because we all know that he's not really opening up a shop. So it's like, in my mind, that's why I'm coming off as like kind of bitchy. And to be honest, it's not even a salon. So what do we even, there's no salon being open, and so what is we really even arguing about? I ain't never want to disclose that. I just kind of like took the punches of how they portrayed me to be. It was so bad to the point that even after the show aired, he even went on live and was like, that's not how my best friend is. This is how they edit. But you get on a podcast and now I'm ungrateful. It's crazy, but you was just defending me, telling people that I'm not ungrateful. That show was supposed to highlight Tony and her music. That was supposed to highlight me and my business. It was supposed to highlight upcoming celebrity hairstylists, upcoming models, upcoming entrepreneurs. It did not do that for any of us. Keep in mind, y'all, I'm already dealing with the things prior in our friendship, the things that I've noticed, that I just noted. Again, I wouldn't believe that someone that's my friend would really do these things. I've been manipulated to think I'm just overreacting, or I'm manipulated to think like I'm just being too sensitive, right? So, also on the show, he would do things like pull my wig off. Do y'all know how humiliating that was to have him pulling my wig off? Had I pulled his wig off, y'all would have been quick to say, she's jealous, she's a hater, he don't need to be friends with her, but it's okay for him to pull a woman's wig off. And to y'all, it's entertainment to y'all. Like, I love their friendship, they're so funny. That was not funny. I was laughing to probably really keep from crying. I was very embarrassed. I don't do stuff like that to my friends that ever try to humiliate them. And y'all gotta keep in mind, I'm dealing with him talking about me, lying on me, manipulating me, on top of being humiliated on a show and having an agenda out to make me look like a person that I'm not. So we go to LA. This will be the second time I'm with him in LA. We go to LA. He's telling me like, Jade, I want you to come with me to the BET Awards. Mind you, he had other events out there, so I wasn't just going out there just for the BET Awards. I was also going to support him for like the other events and stuff that he had. Now, he did not pay for me to go out to LA. I had a round trip. Now, he didn't want to go to certain events and stuff like that during our stay there, so he had to extend it. And I felt like, okay, it was only right for him to purchase our extended flight because he messed up my entire itinerary if he wanted us to stay there. Simple. And I wanted to be there to support him, but I'm like, if you want me to stay, you're gonna have to get my flight because I already spent all this money on the flight here, which he agreed to. Now, at the time in LA, he had Tony there. It was other people there that were working for him. I don't work for him. I'm literally there as a friend to support and because he asked me to. That's it. We there. It was an altercation that happened. The first altercation was the pizza, right?
Was it the pizza? It was so much.
It was so much. In the podcast, he was making it seem like he was carrying everybody. What y'all gotta understand was everybody that was around him other than me worked for him. They were there to do a job. It wasn't that you were carrying everyone. You had to pay your way. These people are here. Tony had missed out on work, like your real job.
Yes.
But we'll get into that again. I'm gonna give you your time to speak. But Tony missed out on her real job to actually be there to support, but also further her career as well. And then other people there was paid as assistants, all types of stuff. Me, I was just there to support. So again, none of us ever got into it. I never beefed with Tony. I never beefed with anybody else that was there. If anything, it was him constantly getting into it with everybody. I never got into it with nobody. None of us was ever getting into it with each other.
We had a good time.
We had a great time. So he calls me and it's like, what y'all doing? I'm like, nothing. I'm about to go get something to eat. Mind you, some of the people there have not been paid. Tony Jai, the dancers, and I knew that. I'm like, you know what? Let me go out and get them some food for the meantime. There's so many things I've done that I just don't even feel comfortable speaking on because I did it out of love, but
yes, keep in mind, y'all, this is 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
This was 5 years ago.
So he comes back with the pizza. We all eating the pizza. He like, that would be $20. He said that would be $20.
Yeah, it was like he specifically waited for everybody to take their piece and eat, and then was like, okay, now everybody pay up. It's this amount of much. Like,
right, and here's the thing. It was never a problem paying for the pizza, but how you expected somebody to put up for something, but you didn't even ask what everybody wanted. So I thought that you already got the pizza and stuff. Like, I thought that was on the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you didn't ask what anybody wanted. If I'm paying for something, it has to be something that I want or something that I agreed to. Nobody ever told him to get a pizza. So we eating the pizza. What he said why he eating the pizza was something else. I can't remember.
That's when you interjected. You was like, well, why would you wait until, because you realized that it was wrong that he did it. And he basically was like, well, this piece is for my boyfriend and this piece is for me. And then y'all eating up the wings. So it was like, well, what was meant for us then?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, what do you call that kind of behavior? Like I was confused. Like, that really threw me off because I'm like, you really just said that you got us pizza.
Right.
And then now you're saying we ate up the pizza, but then you're also asking us for $20. So it's like, it was just...
Yeah, it came off as if he, like, was genuinely just buying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when he got there, it was like, okay, well, this is what y'all owe me.
Remember, he on the podcast saying that he got to take care of everybody and it shouldn't have been a problem. I'm like, you know, that's wrong. You know, me and him going back and forth about it. And he, like, moves all his body weight and, like, pushes me up against the wall. Mind y'all, I'm a petite girl.
Very tiny.
Real tiny in the waist. And he pushes me against the wall. And he's trying to make it seem like he play fighting to kind of, like, diffuse the situation so that, like, the heat is not on him at the moment. He like, I broke my nail, da da da. So, like, you know, the situation kind of, like, died down. Next day or a few days later, we both used to get up really early. So he comes to me like, Jade, be quiet. Do your makeup and stuff. We're about to go to the BET Awards. You was still asleep. Everybody else was still asleep.
I was actually the first one to wake up.
So you heard the conversation?
I didn't, but I felt the vibes. And I don't know if you remember, I got up with an attitude, and he said something about that, like, when people waking up with attitudes and stuff.
I ain't catch that. You know, when you go through so much trauma, you put so much behind your head, you don't even know what is going on, baby.
Yeah.
I was just focused on me trying to survive, get the fuck up out of there, okay?
Yeah. Keep in mind, y'all, this is my second year coming down there to support him, and you were trying to leave me once again.
Was it told that you were going to walk on the carpet?
Yes, both times. And the second time, actually, he had credentials for us because we were on the show without. So they were our credentials. He just didn't give them to us.
Okay, well. So in the morning, he whispering, trying to get me to be quiet about getting dressed. I just wasn't up for that. It just didn't feel right in my spirit. His whole thing was to leave everybody behind. That was wrong. Wrong. That's something I would never do. That is a character flaw I would never have. I don't believe in being sneaky, especially if everybody came out here to support you. Just keep it 100. Let them know, like, hey, you don't got enough credentials. You know, that's what bosses got to do. You got to speak up. Take control of the situation. So we end up getting downstairs, and his friend, it wasn't Chu, but it was another one of his friends that was upset. And he was like, I'm going to just tell, I heard him tell me the lie he was going to say. I'm going to just tell the friend at the time that my manager wanted Jade and my boyfriend. The manager ain't never said that. He literally told me he's going to say that lie because he felt bad. But it's like, if you really feel bad about something, you being genuine about it, you could have easily just said that. Like, look, I feel bad that you can't walk on the carpet, but I really want my boyfriend and my best friend with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Simple. So he looking at me for validation to, like, speak up with him, and I wasn't doing it. I don't care if we best friends or not. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And in that situation, after all the behaviors, all the trauma during these different trips and stuff like that, I just didn't want to be a part of that. Like, that was very messy, and I seen how hurt his friend was. Because everybody came out there with the intentions that, you know, y'all was going to be a part of the BET. Like, you know, I could see that. Especially if he could at least just told y'all the truth.
Yeah, I would have respected it more.
You would have respected more. So you was never mad about not walking on the carpet. It was the principle.
Yeah, you played us and made us seem like you was there for us to get us out there, and then when we got out there, we was
left for dead because y'all was about to be left.
We was left. We didn't get into the awards because of him. We got into the awards because of a resident that was staying at the hotel with us.
So how did he break it to y'all, or he just ain't say nothing?
He didn't say anything to me or
the other
friend, but the friend that you're talking about, that was the friend that he told.
So basically, that was supposed to be like teleported to all of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
While we on the trip, a few people that's a part of his camp is telling me like, he said that you were gonna be a surrogate for him.
I remember that conversation.
And I was like really thrown off. I'm like, surrogate? I'm like, who said that?
Who said that?
Like, I'm like really confused. I'm like, I ain't never said that. That was weird. And then it was mentioned to me about me being pregnant, which I've never shared with anyone at the time. That I only shared that with him. And I feel like at the end of the day, if I tell you I'm pregnant and I'm like, hey, don't tell anybody, that is not your place to go tell other people. I don't care if you're venting. I don't care if you're trying to use my situation as somebody else. Like, you see what because that's what he was like, kind of like manipulating me into thinking like, oh, I said this because I was trying to see, like, you see Jade came out that situation, so, but you didn't have to use my name. You could have just said,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And the way it was the way it was presented to me is that it was said out of like mild intent, like mild intent. It wasn't like, because he was like, no, I was just saying how. First it was that I told somebody that you was pregnant because I was excited.
Oh yeah.
I was so excited for you to have a baby. I couldn't keep it to myself. So that's one person. Then the next story is I told somebody that you was pregnant because I was trying to show, like, you see what Jade went through and she got over that. So that's two people. Not only that, that's like now thousands of people, again, in my business, about my body, about just a whole bunch of other things. This is exactly why I cut him off, and I had to think about this to myself while I was there. Like, I really endured a lot. At this point, I gave this friendship a second chance. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I constantly thought about like going back and forth with myself. Like, yes, I've been friends with this person for so many years. Yes, me and this person came up together. He even told y'all on the podcast that he lived with me. Y'all ain't never hear that come out my mouth. That was in high school. I can't even remember all the things that I've done for him as a friend because I did it out of love. And I'm not even going to get on here and go into detail about all the things that I did for him because it doesn't matter. Even though we're not friends, your secrets is still safe with me. You don't have to worry about me bashing you right now. I'm just telling my truth. My truth. That's it. This is up for y'all. You already put it out there. So it's like at this point, you know, I just got to speak my truth and move forward from the situation. But I said to myself, like, you know what? I don't want to be a part of this friendship no more. But I don't want no bad blood either, right? He called me and he like trying to vent to me about the friend. He like, you know, that trip was really crazy because I ended up going back home. I think you went back home too at the time. Right? He called me after the trip. Mind y'all, I'm already thinking like I'm ready to walk away from this friendship. But you know, I just needed to pray about it, get confirmation. You know, just kind of sit in my thoughts for real.
Yeah.
That was a lot. That was draining, ain't it?
That was a trigger, ain't it?
Like, I could laugh about it now, y'all, because of God, because of my friends, my support system, my man, my mom, my friends. I can laugh about it now, but when I tell y'all I was effed up mentally, that also affected how I view friendships in general.
Yes. Just how you navigate.
How I navigate with people. I'm constantly on defense mode. Like, who trying to little girl me? Who trying to play me? Like, my friends today, they'll tell you, like, Jay always trying to go big on somebody. Yeah, because y'all don't know what I had to go through. And then, again, as I'm thinking about everything, I'm thinking about how he treating his other friends. I'm thinking about how he treating the workers. I'm thinking about how he treated me, the best friend. Putting everything into perspective. I'm thinking about that disgusting rumor that was made about my boyfriend that he let carry on. I'm also thinking about him humiliating me, pulling my wig off. We did many photo shoots with Dare to Have Hair before. Lift my shirt up, lift my skirt up. In front of everybody. In high school, if you knew me, I was very sensitive about my breasts because that's where all my weight would go. So it's like I got this small frame but like really big boobs. That's something I was very sensitive about. So the fact that you would do things like pull my shirt down, lift my skirt up, I'm thinking about all of this. How you came to the college and try to intimidate me. Once I got home, he was trying to talk to me about the situation, venting about his friend, and he's like, you know, I got into it with him. He trying to like vent to me as if I don't know what just went down. Like I just didn't see it for myself. Like you just did have me try to have me a part of that whole little lie, that scheme. So I'm like, no, it's you. You're the problem. At that point, I'm fed up.
Right.
I'm like, you're the problem. You're the problem. He like, why are you pointing a finger at me? So we going back and forth about it. And I'm like, this is about to be the end for me. Like, I'm cool off of him. He would text me here and there. I would be dry about it. Then he wrote me. He was like, I'm trying to figure out, are we still friends or something? He had sent me like a screenshot. Mind you, I don't have no proof of all this. This is 5 years ago, guys. I don't have no receipts. No, none of that. I don't care to. I was done. So for him to send me messages like, I'm trying to figure out we still friends, I said, look, to be honest, I just want to keep my distance from you. I don't want no bad blood. I told him my piece. I don't want no issues with you, but I don't want to be your friend. No. The woman that I'm trying to be at that time, because remember, this is 5 years ago, so I was, what, 21?
Yeah.
The young, tender age of 21. I just felt like the girl who I want to be, this Shaded by Jade, is what I fought to be. This girl sitting on the couch right now, this is what I worked hard to be, to have a voice, to have a beautiful, loving, healthy family, to have good people around me, to live the way that I live, to be able to speak like this, to be able to be at peace. This is the girl that I was trying to get to. And this girl right here didn't have people like that around her. I didn't envision that for myself. I didn't envision myself being manipulated, humiliated, embarrassed. I didn't see that future version of myself with that type of friend around. And I just wished him well. Years go down the line, multiple people sending me lives of him talking about me. I even remember we was in high school. He told y'all that he was living with me, but then he went on Snapchat years ago telling people, my best friend made me sleep on the floor. I mean, which one is it? It's like, at the end of the day, I had a twin bed. Yo, I had a twin bed. So you was already talking about me on lives, but you saying that this is your first time talking about it on the podcast. That's not true. This is your first time talking about it on YouTube. But on the internet, you've been talking about this. You've been talking about me. And even when I did my video, you guys can go check this video out. I was very graceful. I spoke on my experience with Wig Out. I spoke on my experience in that friendship, and I didn't badmouth him. I didn't bash him. I didn't tell his business like he told my business. It's kind of like hurtful because you speaking on a surgery that I had, and again, that's not even something that I shared with my supporters or shared with the internet. So it's like you tried to take my voice, and I'm doing this video to take my voice back. Can't nobody speak for me. Can't nobody speak on an experience for me. Only I can do that. You are acting confused as to why you don't understand why we're no longer friends. I've explained to you ample amount of time. You reached out to my mom. You reached out to me numerous times. You had your friends call me. It's like, what more do I have to do? If somebody does not want to be your friend, you cannot force anyone to be your friend. That is bullying. That is bullying. That is harassment. I've moved on. I don't want to keep talking about this anymore after today. Now, you guys can expect after this, maybe more lies being thrown out there, more narratives, anything to make him look like he is the victim in the situation. I'm telling y'all right now, so don't send me nothing. I don't care. I'm not talking about this again. I'm telling y'all what's probably going to happen instead of him just taking accountability. I just want to be known as Shaded by Jade, not somebody's old best friend. I am Shaded by Jade, Jade Guy, a mother, an entrepreneur.
Even with the whole misunderstood thing, I feel like it's not really a misunderstanding because I don't know if I ever told you.
Girl, why you scared me?
I got this clip of him that was sent to me. It's not mine, but it was sent to me amongst our mutual parties because he does a lot of back and forth where he'll say one thing like, "Oh, Jade, you're so Tony's so ungrateful, da 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 da. Oh, but no, not you." And then he'll come to me and be like, "Oh, Jay's so ungrateful. Oh, but no, not you." So it was like it became a back and forth thing.
Somebody sent you this?
Somebody sent me this. You want to hear it?
Yeah, girl.
Okay, Amy.
I'm about to put this dog outside.
Why, she still farting?
Yes.
When was this recording?
This recording was, I want to say like, it had to be like after 2019.
And that's when we stopped talking in 2019.
This was definitely after LA because he addresses LA in this conversation.
Okay. Well, go ahead, play it.
Go ahead, listen.
You know, my situation with Boy, and everything was you this, you that, and it's just like, I started arguing with her because it's just like, Jade,
You know who that is on the phone?
Yeah, I know both of them.
And I'm still trying to maintain myself, and like I told her, I was like, I don't feel like I got the gratitude and the thank you that I deserve because I stress myself out trying to get everybody's serious. So, she just
Stress herself out trying to get everybody.
What year was this?
2019.
2019, the same year as everything that went down, but stress yourself out how? Because nobody got no tickets. As a matter of fact, we got our tickets from somebody who was staying at the hotel with us. We didn't get tickets from Cliff.
I said thinking and I'm just like, Jay, it's not about that. But my thing is
So he's saying that he told me that I was ungrateful. He never told me I was ungrateful. If anything, he was trying to kick it like everybody else was ungrateful.
Mm-hmm.
So when he said that, I felt like, you know how somebody kind of throwing jabs at you, like everybody was ungrateful, but it's like you ain't put a name on it, like you ain't put an ad on it. So that's how I started snapping. Like, I've been telling you things. Even when he was doing stuff for me, I would be overly thank you. Mm-hmm. I will overly say thank you because I just felt like, wow, this friend is doing something so nice for me. I don't want to see him unappreciative. Like, can you unlock your phone? I just overly said thank you, and he would feel uncomfortable. Like, okay, dang, like you already said thank you. So it's like, well, damn. Am I ungrateful when I decide to speak up? So it's like when I decide to speak up about how you treat me or speak up about the wrong things you're doing or speak up when you're in the wrong, now I'm ungrateful.
Yeah.
So it's like I could do stuff for you, but just don't speak on nothing. That means you gotta be quiet. That is manipulation. That's a
dictatorship.
That's dictation. That's a narcissistic behavior because you're trying to make me low-key kind of surrender to you. You did these things because you wanted to. So by you making it seem like I'm ungrateful, how? Because I disagree with you? That is manipulation. Men do this all the time with women. It's like they could cheat on you, and then when they cheat on you, they buy you a bag, don't bring that shit up. They buy you a bag, they buy you a house, they pay all your bills, but if he abusing you, putting his hands on you, cheating on you, you can't speak up about it.
Yeah, you shouldn't hear no. Mm-hmm.
You don't got no say so because somebody doing something for you. And that's when I didn't understand what love bombing was, manipulation, narcissistic. I didn't know what none of that meant at that time. And I'm just so grateful that I have people around me to kind of educate me on that, because now this is why I would never give that friendship another opportunity, because of what I know now. And I'm sure even after this video, so many other people are going to be able to share their experience with him as well, because I'm not the only person that dealt with this. This is not just me. So I hope that this lets other people be free from that situation and see that that is not right. That's not how a friend treats you. But let me finish listening to this.
basically a week later when I cooled down, I said, what the fuck do you mean? I start thinking and I'm just like, Jay, it's not about that. But my thing is it just was really, so I ended up hanging up on her because I didn't like how she was talking to me. And then basically a week later when I cooled down, I sent her a text and she responded really dry. I was like, I apologize for hanging up on you, but at the time I was just going through a lot and I really didn't like how you was talking to me. She just was like, well, I apologize for those 2 years. She was like, well, I apologize for screaming and hollering, but every time I tell you how I feel about something, never try to fix it. And when you tell me
What is going on?
fix it,
Oh, girl.
and I just was like, you know what, you don't have to worry about that again. Then a couple days later, he still wasn't texting. And somebody had emailed me and was like, are you and Jane not friends anymore? So I sent it to her. I said, I'm trying to figure out the same thing. And then she said that somebody wrote to her and said that I was trying to take credit for her business and that I told.
But he did try to take credit for my business. He even said it on the podcast. I told her, I take that back. He did take credit for my business to other people, but as you see, he gets on the podcast. I told her to do this with the vendors. Deshaun is an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. You're an entrepreneur. We bounce ideas off each other all the time.
Right.
All the time. And you'll never see me be like, I told Tony to do this and do that. I'm going to fall back. I'm going to let you shine. There's no need for me to tell people that I told you to do this or to do that.
Especially if we all in this together.
What you do and secretly, God will reward you openly. Mm-hmm. If you're doing something from a genuine place in your heart, you don't have to keep broadcasting or telling people about it if it's from a genuine place, because you don't need the accolades of other people to justify if you're doing something from a place of love. Like if it's a genuine place and you're doing it for out of love, then you don't need to get the credit of it or you don't need to get acknowledgement of it. And I feel like a lot of times people struggle with that because it's like you're doing it from a place of love, but then you want to hold it over somebody's head. You want to make people feel, you know, inferior or locked in because they did something for you. So it's like they secretly making you feel like you owe them.
Mm-hmm. And that's how I constantly felt like nothing I did is ever good enough. I come out here to support you, that's not good enough. I say thank you, that's not good enough. Y'all just hear him say in this recording, I said thank you. And he's like, Jade, but that's not the point. What is the point?
Yeah.
Because if I do something for you and you say thank you, that's it. I'm not looking for nothing in return. So what is ungrateful? What is ungrateful to this individual? What is
That's
grateful?
what I'm trying to figure out.
After this, we're done. I didn't even expect to talk about this for so long, but this was such a traumatic experience for me all of these years. It's like so much. It's so much that I'm even leaving out, but because of my character, you will never catch me getting on the internet talking bad about someone I used to be friends with or airing their business out. Okay. Okay. From what I'm hearing so far, y'all, he's telling you exactly why I no longer want to be friends with him. But got on the podcast and act confused as to why I didn't want to be friends with him. So, yes, everybody telling me different things was a part of that. But imagine that on top of what I've already experienced and witnessed on my own. That was enough for me. That was enough.
Yeah.
Because the stuff that people was telling me that he was saying is stuff that only he knew. Mm-hmm. And then the fact that you get on a podcast and say 3 people, you only told 3 people, like y'all not putting 2 and 2 together. 3 people is crazy. The fact that you can't figure out which person said it, my business should not be going to 3 people if it was meant for you.
Didn't he say we weren't friends?
Right.
So why?
That y'all 2 wasn't friends.
No. That we weren't. He said that they asked were we all friends. Mm-hmm. He elaborated and said, no, you were his friend and we were jealous of the relationship that y'all had. So we did things to try to try to take you from him or whatever.
I mean, it was so much damage done before anybody even told me more stuff that was going on that trip. Like, so I don't feel like anybody was jealous because even when me and him got into it, none of y'all interfered or nothing. Like, so that's not true. Your phone keeps doing.
Damn.
Sorry, guys. And again, You're telling another person on the phone.
I was about to say that is another person to a list, and then the person who recorded it, that's another person who knows her information. So it's just like, it just goes on.
And for you to say that you told somebody that you thought you could trust is crazy. Like with my business, you felt like you told somebody about me being pregnant that you could trust.
That's
what does
not
that
her
have?
friend.
That's not a friend. That's not my friend, right?
That's not your friend.
And that's clearly not his friend either because it got back to me.
Hello.
But it's just like, that's crazy to feel like you had to find somebody that you could trust to tell my business. That goes to show you shouldn't have been telling it. If you wanted to use me as an example or use that I went through something or whatever, you could have just said I had a friend that went through that. You didn't have to say Jade. Same thing on the podcast. You keep saying my name knowing that after you mentioned getting my body done. First of all, let's make that very clear. You talking about the old body, okay? This new body is after my baby. This is round 2, courtesy of my man, okay? Yeah. But you keep talking about this old body. This is the new body. Again, you should not be speaking on my body. But anyways, you felt like you had to find somebody that you could trust with my business. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. And it's like on a podcast, that's just like another example of how you tried to shade me, but then make yourself seem like a victim. You knew mentioning what you did for me is going to make you look like a great friend. You know how many people probably want their body done? And if they had a friend to do it, you know, they looking at it like that. Then you say my Instagram. And that's another thing I wanted to mention. Like, I don't have nothing against the podcast. I think their goal and what they stand for is great. Like, trying to get misunderstood people to explain themselves. Because I feel the same way. Like, I'm not crazy. I'm just misunderstood. Like, I was just silent for too long. I get the message behind it. But I feel like, again, he was using his manipulative ways to have the podcast view him as a victim. When people were sending me the podcast, I went to go look at it, and I looked at the comments and everything. I just told my manager, I'm like, you know, just go ahead and let them know, like, I don't care to clear this up or nothing, because they were trying to get me. The boy was like, you know, I want her to come on here so, like, we could try to mend it. No disrespect to you guys, but y'all don't know me. Y'all don't know the dynamic between our friendship. This is somebody that actually was around during the friendship. So it's like, y'all can't really speak on me because y'all don't know me. Y'all just getting one side of the story. But not only that, the friendship is done. So by me going on that podcast trying to mend anything, that would literally just be for the people's entertainment, honestly. Yeah. Not because we're really here to try to mend it. It's just been so much stuff that's done. And granted, I'm not saying I'm a perfect person. You know, like they say, Lil Wayne said, I ain't a killer, but don't push me. Meaning, I had to remove myself out of that environment so I didn't have to be that mean girl. I didn't want to be that. If you're constantly being provoked in provoking environments, it's going to bring out a side of you. I know I can get like that if I'm taken there. And I didn't want to be in that position. My manager replied, and Cliff replied back to it, which is crazy, saying that he could have had his team reach out for the video that I did. I never spoke on you on that video. I never spoke nothing bad about you in that video. I'm going to make sure I link it so y'all can go see it. Not only that, I started to go back to the video. Anybody that was like advocating for me, or anybody that was having a perspective like kind of like geared towards me, either there will be a comment rebuttaling that, or it will be removed. And I feel like with any other podcast, any other show, it's open to the public. So even if people who did support me decide to go on there and comment, what is wrong with that? This is a public interview. Is there anything that you would like to say?
I just wanted to make it clear, like, I know y'all probably wondering, like, oh, why is she here? I'm here because I was there from the time y'all got back cool up until the time she felt like she was ready to depart. And I experienced a lot of the same shit that she experienced, just on a smaller scale. It's more in depth with her because she was the best friend. She was someone who was, you know, at the forefront always, no matter what. Like,
and there was one point where you was even trying to figure out why I was keeping my distance.
Yeah, she low-key snapped on me, y'all. Like, I had to ask her a couple times, like, girl, why you don't come around? Like, what? I be asking you to come over, you don't come. And she like, well, what the fuck you keep asking me that for? Like,
because I was triggered, ain't
girl,
it?
I was triggered, ain't it?
Like, I was telling them, I'm like, bro, like, I don't know how y'all do that. Like, again, y'all, he wasn't taking care of me. I had my own crib, own car, all that. So I was able to dip and go as I please. So once it started, like, I remember literally having to, before I used to step foot in the house, I would have to pray to God, like, God, please, like, make sure I don't do anything out of character. I pray that there's nothing to provoke, you know. I remember we was in Miami one time, like, having a good time, and he locked me on the balcony, again with humiliation, locked me on the balcony while I'm just chilling, relaxing, looking at the view. You know, girl things.
Remember we was lighting hookah and he sprayed got to be oh my
God,
goodness. He
y'all.
could have singed our whole fucking
While we
face.
so he locked me on the balcony, recorded me like franticking, like open the door for his entertainment. But this is what y'all say a friend is, right? Then me, Tony Jai smoking hookah. He's spraying got to be spray while we're smoking the hookah and puts it on live. But again, y'all people eat this up. Y'all think
That's
this is funny.
flammable. I think you lose an eye over.
Yes, and he was like direct, like spraying it in our face. Like, what are you doing?
Child, I seen him do that with many of his friends, other friends, recording them, humiliating them. But it's like, as soon as you speak up, it's like, no, but this could go viral. Like, you could do a lot with this to go viral. It's like, damn. I'm like, okay, you doing anything at this point to go viral. And again, y'all, this is not to be shady. This is the truth. This is the truth, things that are actually happening. Y'all see, I didn't speak about this for so long. That should tell you something. My mom told me that you don't always have to react immediately. During this time, I healed, I prayed, I had support. Like, you know, it really took a lot for me to even really do this video for real. But I got a brand that I need to protect, a family I need to protect. And I am telling my truth. So that just goes to show that I was not quick to speak on this.
Yeah. It wasn't really something I feel like really like, it was triggering, ain't it? But it wasn't something that really like threw you off of your path.
Hell no, I was able to move forward from this. Like,
yeah.
I'm ending this now to just let y'all know, and I want to end this off with Deshaun, like just kind of like giving you guys like a breakdown of like how to heal through this and different personalities to stay away from, because we've all have our own encounter. Not even about him. We're moving this subject on now, but we've all dealt with narcissistic behaviors, and it's important to know when you're dealing with this so that you can prevent a lot of these situations. But I just want to end this off like, no matter what, Cliff and Jade back in the day, that was a time that will forever be a part of who I am today. Meaning I've learned so much from him, good and bad. But it's like I'm bowing out gracefully now with nothing but love. I wish him nothing but the best.
Hi guys, my name is Deshaun. I'm the owner of Desa Have Hair. I am Jade's friend. I actually met Jade when she was a teenager. And you know, we had some time away from each other as she was growing, as I was growing. But we ended up, you know, coming together and talking. She actually came to me for some, you know, business advice. And through that, we developed a friendship, you know what I mean, where we nurture each other, we grew, we gave each other advice, and things of that sort. My background, just starting from my background, growing up, I experienced a lot of different types of abuse, mental, emotional, and sexual abuse. And I had learned a lot throughout that. Me, myself too, I didn't always use my voice. A lot of times when you're dealing with a situation that has high levels of manipulation and abuse, I think people don't realize that sometimes it takes a while for you to get to a point and strength when you can use your voice. When you're being highly manipulated, what a lot of times abusers do, it messes with your mental and your mind. And sometimes it makes you feel like you question yourself, you question your pain, you question it being valid, because you've been in a place for such a long time where you've been humiliated, where you've been hurt, where you've been used, where you've been, you know, minimized, and just so many other different things taking place that sometimes it takes time for you to build up courage to actually put your foot down, say no, say stop, say I don't like this, this makes me feel uncomfortable. Because you have to think about it, if something is happening to you, like I can speak from my experience, and you're being trained up into a situation. Now this is just me speaking from my experience, like me being sexually abused, and I was abused by someone that was you know, a close family. I was abused by, you know, my stepfather. And through that, and from a young age, from when I was like, you know, a baby, a little kid, being in that situation and it being tainted, it was like I was being trained up in that. So I didn't know anything else besides what was happening to me. Even though I knew it was wrong, I didn't like the way it felt. I hated myself. It brought on low self-esteem. I used to scream in it inside from different things that was done to me, and I felt like I didn't have an outlet or support because the different things that I was going through when I was going to different people, and they were more so looking at the situation of not how it was hurting me and affecting me, but more so how it would make them look, or maybe affecting what they had going on. My pain and my suffering was minimized as, you know, are you sure? And well, maybe, you know, maybe you're not being clear about it. Meanwhile, it's getting worse and worse. One thing I learned with relationships and relating with people is you can't place an expectation on somebody's gratitude or love. And what I mean by that is that a lot of times we have an expectation in our mind of how we should be loved because maybe that's the way we love. But if a person isn't meeting that expectation, you know what I mean, the way we envisioned or the fairy tale we created in our mind, we think that that person doesn't love us or isn't grateful because it's not playing off of how we perceive it should be. You can't just say a person, like for instance, if you're in a marriage, right? You have this fairy tale image of how the marriage should be or how love should be. But that person is doing their all from what they know of loving you because it's not looking like the way you want it to look. Their, you know what I mean, actions isn't all the way looking how you envision it to look. You just automatically think that person isn't grateful or they don't love you. That's not how it works. Now, you can communicate how you would like things to be better in that relationship, or how you guys can move forward, or the different things that you would like to bring into that relationship. But you just can't say a person isn't grateful because they're not responding the way you envision in your mind or the way you want them to do. Me and Jade one time had a disagreement because she was going through a tough time in her life. I'll let her share that if she wants to. And, you know, we both were projecting. We didn't really know what it was, but we sat down and talked about it. And I explained to her how I felt. She explained how she had felt. She took accountability. I took accountability. We apologized. We moved on. I don't need to remind her of that because if you forgive somebody for something, it's finito, it's going. Like, I don't need to keep bringing up what you did if I genuinely accepted your forgiveness or your apology and vice versa, and I don't need to hold it over your head. We all have bad days. We all have pressures. As an entrepreneur, that is a lot. It messes with your mental. And we're mothers. I'm a wife. So we all have things going on. So there's not to say that we might not offend someone or be in a bad mood. But it's just that when that person comes to you and say, Deshaun, I didn't like the way you said that. Or I didn't like the way you handled that situation. Instead of being dismissive or just being like, you know what, whatever, just get over it. Or, you know, or we don't got to be friends anymore. I would rather have a space where you communicate that with me and let me reflect on it, and also me work on doing it better. Because guess what? You know what else? I can't project my friendship with Jade the same way I would project it with my friend Sharon. Because you also have to learn that not only in relationships do people have love languages, but I learned in my friendships, my friends have love languages. Jade has many love languages that I learned as a friend. In friendship, you learn that your friends also have different love languages that I can't compare to another friend. Everybody's different. I'm the type of friend where I can sit in silence and just enjoy your silence.
Right.
Jade likes to go out, have a good time, and, you know, talk, laugh. She also is an active service person where, you know, she likes to make things and do different things for you. Where I am a gifter, you know what I mean? I'm a sit in silence friend. I'm a listener, but I'm also a friend that, you know, is very vocal about different things. You know, your friends are just different. The bottom line is that friendships are also a lot of work. You have to have space for it. You have to be in a place of healing and a place of maturity and understand
and allow people to be
allow
themselves,
people to
whether
be
that means
them
you cut them
and
off.
love them, because you're going to constantly be evolving and growing.
Whether that means you need to cut them off and let them be them, whether that means you want to work through it and let them be them, but you have to believe people when they show you who you are.
Yes, another love language is you might also have, no, for real, you might have a friend that want to take some space.
Jade is trying to wrap it up.
I know, but no, for real, you might have a friend
I got a whole lot of editing.
you might have a friend that wants space and don't want to deal with people right now.
No, that's true.
You can't force your way on somebody and be like, oh,
That
well,
is,
you
in
have to.
Deshaun's words, that is pervertive behavior.
Yeah, not even just but you can't force your way in somebody's life and be like, you're going to be my friend. You can't cut me off or you got to talk.